Welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that becoming the best and healthiest version of yourself isn't just about following macros, a meal plan, or killing yourself at the gym. You have to look at a holistic approach, looking at stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, support system, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of the Healthy Kids Cookbook, 100% kid-approved recipes the entire family will love. You can find it on Amazon. In this podcast, I am going to teach you how to take one step at a time to becoming the healthiest version of yourself. I'm so excited to introduce today's guest. His name is Josh. He is one of my personal nutrition clients who I've been working with for over 4 years. He is a busy professional, a dad of 2 super active girls, an amazing husband, just a good human overall. And one of his main goals was to prevent disease, optimize his health. I thought he would be a great candidate for our new continuous glucose monitoring experiment. So I asked him to be our first guinea pig, go through the process with us, adding continuous glucose monitoring so that I can give him real-time feedback of what he is eating and how it's affecting his body. It was a really great experience for him to learn what foods he's tolerating, what foods he's not. And today I had him come on the podcast talking about his experience with continuous glucose monitoring paired with high accountability nutrition coaching. Historically, continuous glucose monitoring is just for diabetic patients and helps you get an inside look on what your blood sugar is, what's going on with your blood sugar in real time. But we know that 1/3 of the population is diabetic, pre-diabetic, and we know that many of those people do not know that they have diabetes or pre-diabetes. And one of the things that's directly correlated with that is your blood sugar management. So if you can understand what's going on the inside of your body and how to regulate your blood sugar and eat whole foods and balance and exercise and sleep, all of these things, it's going to help you be able to really focus on a holistic approach to optimize your health and at the end of the day, prevent chronic disease. So if you are interested in continuous glucose monitoring, make sure you click the link in the show notes. You can apply for coaching paired with high accountability, nutrition coaching paired with continuous glucose monitoring. But I'm so excited to let you listen to this conversation I had with Josh. Make sure you stay tuned till the end where I have a super exciting announcement. All right, enjoy. Josh, welcome to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you today because you were actually the first person to do continuous glucose monitoring and allow us to kind of see what's going on the inside of your body and then help you with nutrition coaching along the way.
Yes, and I was happy to be the guinea pig. So a lot of good things came of it.
Why did you decide to do it other than me saying, hey, Josh, I think you need to do this?
I think it was just because it was a new way of looking at how my body reacts to what I'm putting into it. And for me, I like seeing results quickly. So this was a way to kind of see, what I ate and how it affected me.
Absolutely. And you're a numbers guy.
Yeah, I do like numbers.
You're a numbers guy. So, you being able to see instant results, that instant gratification of, hey, my blood sugar is out of range and now it's in range. It was a really cool thing. And what was really fun for me as a coach is watching you come to each weekly session saying, hey, Nicole, I started realizing this. Hey, Nicole, I started seeing this about myself when I was eating these certain things. What were some of the biggest surprises that you had wearing the continuous glucose monitor for 30 days?
I felt like there were certain foods that my body reacted to differently. And I also saw how some foods and alcohol would keep my blood glucose up much later. But, on the positive side, I did also see, if I did some activity after I ate, how it did help to bring my blood glucose down. So, thinking about exercising after you eat in just some small way really helped change some of my habits.
And that's something, exercise is something that we've been talking about for a while, but you seeing those numbers go down right after actually has gotten us to have a conversation of, hey, maybe I'm going to join a master swim team.
Yeah.
And, get a little bit more active, which is absolutely amazing. I want to talk about the alcohol for a second, because to be honest, I didn't even realize the impact of how alcohol would impact your blood sugar all night long, which increases your fasting blood sugar. And you actually work in the liquor industry.
I do. Yeah, it's tough.
Some of your meetings revolve around trying different wines and different things. So we had to kind of navigate, how do I still do the job that I have to do, but then also be able to manage my blood sugar. When we were looking at your blood sugar and what you were drinking, you weren't even drinking things that were having a lot of sugar. It was spiking up your blood sugar. And the reason for that was, whenever you drink alcohol, your body has to break that down first, but then all the food that you're eating with it is broken down later, hours later throughout the night. What kind of stuff were you seeing around alcohol and your food intake?
Yeah. So I think the first kind of aha moment for me was, there was a night where it was an unexpected, some people came over, wasn't planning on having a drink at all, and ended up having some drinks with snack food later in the evening. And it did spike my blood sugar. But the biggest thing that I noticed is it took to about 1:00 p.m. the next day for my blood sugar to get back into range, which was really eye-opening, because to me it was like, oh, you sleep it off and you're good the next day. Well, it's when you see the numbers, you find out it's not really true.
Yeah. And then you started actually correlating, hey, I didn't even sleep that well that night. And, you being able to see that has actually impacted not only you, but I think a lot of our clients too, has impacted the decisions we make around alcohol, even during school nights or weekdays.
Yeah. That's what I call them, school nights.
Awesome. So, after doing 30 days of blood glucose monitoring, what is something that you're taking with you now? Like, what is probably one of the biggest things, because you're not continuing with it,
right?
What are one of the biggest things that you're taking with you now?
Yeah. So something that was preached to me consistently, and maybe I didn't do as well, but the plate method. I saw that when I followed the plate method consistently, that my numbers were within range, probably 95% of the time.
Yeah.
So, the way we kind of worked it out is, the first week that we did the monitoring, it was, hey, live your normal life, drink, eat, whatever you want to do. Yep. And then the next week we're going to do it, the Nicole way. and a lot of it was plate method, making sure that you're prepped and all that. And you would see the results in the numbers,
which is absolutely amazing. And now you're more consistent with the plate method. And we've been working together for quite some time.
Yep.
But you are more consistent now because you started those healthy habits and had the instant gratification of seeing exactly the positive impacts of healthy choices.
Yep.
Immediately, essentially, because it gives you the numbers within 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and it was, hey, I was still eating not exactly what I wanted, but there was a carb incorporated that kind of satisfied me, but it was the right carb and the right portion size that, and using the plate method really does, it really does work, so, and I was more satisfied than not after dinners, so it did help with some of the late night snacking.
I want to talk about one more thing, because your job, and we're going to summer season, is a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And you actually were able to wear the continuous glucose monitor on part of a travel trip. And I think a lot of times when we travel, we think, oh, well, that's my excuse to not stay on track. But if you're traveling quite a bit, it could really impact your results. Talk to me about how you were able to kind of see what was going on and make educated decisions when you were traveling using the continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah. I mean, so the best thing is that it's done through your phone. So the minute you start spiking, so
alert, alert.
Yeah. And you can set it up that way too. So knowing that I would be going out with either clients or colleagues, making the right decisions was a big deal. And knowing that not that I was being monitored, because I was monitoring myself.
Yeah.
But trying to stay consistent and true did help. So it helped me kind of think, okay, when I see the menu, what can I order that's not gonna set this thing off, and put me into a high number for the rest of the night. So I can't say I always did it right.
You did so well.
I did a lot better than I would.
And the cool thing is now you understand what's going on the inside of your body.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if you can educate yourself and invest in yourself and see, because every person's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, if we're drinking alcohol, our blood sugar is going to be up higher. But there were foods that you ate, and maybe I would have ate, or Jason, my husband, would eat, and our blood sugar would do different things.
Yep.
Right. So, I'm so excited that you were able to do this. I have a couple, I'm going to throw a couple questions at you.
Okay. A lightning round?
Yep. Lightning round.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, did it hurt?
No, I barely felt it.
Okay. Awesome. Number 2, who put it in?
The first time, Jason, your husband.
Yep.
The second 2 times, the next 2 times, my wife.
Okay. Perfect. So super simple.
Super simple
to take in and out. It also kind of shows you, hey, you need to go for a walk if you want to get your blood sugar down. Did you like that feature?
I did like that feature. Now, it wasn't always, I couldn't have always done that.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm at work, but if I was at home and it was 6:30 on a Tuesday night and it said, hey, go for a walk. Well, you lace up your shoes and you take 20 minutes for yourself.
I love it. Anything that you would say to someone who's like, this sounds interesting. Like, I need to figure out what's going on the inside of my body. Maybe they're not reaching their goals, or they just want to be able to prioritize health a little bit more. We know that 50% of people are pre-diabetic or diabetic, and many of those people do not even know it. What would you say to someone considering continuous glucose monitoring, or at least an experiment for 30 days?
Yeah, I would say invest in yourself, give yourself a shot. To me, and I've learned this over many of failures, but if you want to do something different, you got to do something different. You can't do the same thing over and over again. So, if you feel like instant gratification would help you, I mean, this is instant gratification in the form of you're doing well or you're doing not.
Yeah.
And there is a very positive approach to this, a lot of support from Nicole and team. So I would say give it a shot.
Awesome. Josh, thank you for trusting us to help you. It's always a pleasure to work with you and the girls. I'm able to work with Stella because she's a part of Twisters, and Morgan. We just love your family.
Well, thank you. And thank you for working with us.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Josh. Healthy Steps Nutrition exists because our whole mission is to help people prevent chronic disease. We believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. But in order to become your best and healthiest version of yourself, we need to look at a holistic approach. We need to look at stress management, sleep, support system, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, nutrition. Here's the deal. Most people do not start getting healthcare until it's too late. It should be sick care. Instead, we need to invest in ourselves to figure out what's going on in the inside of our body to make educated decisions. What we've seen with clients who've started with continuous glucose monitoring is it helps them make educated decisions and increase consistency of the healthy habits. They're not tempted by the things that are presented with them in real time because they know what's going to happen on the inside of their body. What they want most is more important than what they want now. The temptations that we might have with food or alcohol or other types of things that are derailing our progress and inhibiting us from reaching our goals. If you are looking for continuous glucose monitoring, if you are a person that's like, hey, I'm not seeing the consistency that I want, I'm struggling with consistency, or I'm not seeing the results that I want, continuous glucose monitoring, an experiment for 30 days could be a great solution to help you get an inside look and make more educated decisions for yourself and your health. All you need to do to partner with Healthy Steps Nutrition in this process is click the link below and apply for nutrition coaching paired with accountability and support with continuous glucose monitoring. And we will help you create a plan, give you real-time feedback. You meet with the dietitian every single week to review your numbers and help you move forward to make educated decisions so that you can become the best and healthiest version of yourself. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. If you're thinking like, Nicole, I don't need all of that, I just need a nutrition coach to get me started, you can go to hireanutritioncoach.com and find a Healthy Steps nutrition coach near you. Make sure that you subscribe and leave us a review. We'll see you back here next week where we dive into understanding the numbers and a little bit more about the science behind blood sugar and things that you need to know, common questions we get asked from people regarding blood sugar management, exercise, and everything going into preventing chronic disease. So make sure you tune in. Next week, we have one of our own dietitians, Kayla, coming on as a guest on our podcast. So we'll see you back here next week.